We've got a great lineup of guests tonight, and we're going to talk about Pennsylvania. Now, why Pennsylvania? Well, it's a pretty big state, and if you recall, back in November, it played an important part in national politics and what's going on now in the world. So we decided to let's talk about it and find out more. All right. So our first guest is Sean Meloy from the Victory Fund. Sean, come on in my basement here. Hello there, Sean.
Hello, hello. How are you?
Oh, I think I'm better now. It's a little rough there for start. Okay, now, Sean, you're calling us from Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and you're with the Victory Fund. I know I've gotten a lot of emails from the Victory Fund, but can you tell me what the Victory Fund is all about?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the Vice President of Political Programs at the LGBTQ Victory Fund, and we are the only organization in the entire country that is dedicated to electing openly LGBTQ people to public office at every level and every state across the United States. And so you have some of our amazing endorsees coming up next, but our goal is to make sure that our population is effectively represented in government.
All right, so you're not just for Pennsylvania, you're for the entire country.
Absolutely. My day job is doing the LGBTQ Victory Fund stuff, and then I'm the chair of the Pennsylvania Democratic Party's LGBTQ caucus. So they dovetail a lot of the time, but the Victory Fund works across the entire country.
So what did you see as successes in the past election in November?
Yeah, absolutely. We had a record increase in the amount of state legislators. You have two of Pennsylvania's great state legislators coming up, but one of those increases was Jessica Benham, but 18% increase overall. There's over 180 legislators, I believe now. For the first time ever, the majority of LGBTQ legislators are women. And we have in 25 states and territories, almost half the United States, an LGBTQ person in all the chambers in state government. And so we have Pennsylvania isn't one of them, sadly, but almost half the country now has representation in each chamber of the legislature.
I know in Vermont we have two state senators who are a part of that caucus, and we have 11 state representatives of the LGBTQ community, including our good friend Taylor Small, who was the first transgendered person to be elected to the state legislature. So, like I said, we've got like 13 between the two houses here in Vermont. What's it like in Pennsylvania? What's the total number?
We still have some work to do in Pennsylvania. We have the second largest legislature, over 200 people, and we only have 3. And so, the new data just came out from Gallup that said that we're 5.6% of the population. So we should have at least the numbers you have in our state house. And we've never had anyone openly elected to the state Senate in Pennsylvania. So we've got a long way to go.
Now, have there been candidates and they just weren't elected?
Yeah, so a lot of times when candidates step up, they are not necessarily embraced as the traditional candidate, right? And so they normally have to win their primary. There's a little bit of a good old boy network in all parts of Pennsylvania that they have to kind of, make sure that they beat. And so, Brian's done that, Jessica, faced adversity right here in Pittsburgh, sadly. And we have that to surmount. But we are working to help make sure that more people are elected to local office so that they can then run for state office. And we've got a ton of those folks stepping up to run just right now.
So when you say local offices, what kind of offices are you talking about?
This is school boards, city councils, county councils. We've got an amazing candidate that's running for Erie County Executive, Tyler Titus, one of the only trans men elected in the entire country. And he's on the Erie School Board right now. And they're looking to run for county executive in the swing county of the swing state of Pennsylvania. And so that kind of representation is exactly what Victory Fund works to help achieve.
So what do you see about the problems with the voter suppression? Have you been working with any of those initiatives?
I think part of this is that the LGBTQ community needs to be identified, right, in data points. We're going to get some data in the new census coming up. And I think that, the Gallup poll I mentioned shows that we are a substantial part of the population. And so we need to be targeted. We need to make sure that the resources are coming in to register LGBTQ voters, to make sure that they're aware of these efforts to dismiss and discount their votes, like so many other people that aren't agreeing with conservative ideology.
So what were you doing before you took a job with the Victory Fund?
Yeah, I was actually the LGBTQ outreach director at the Democratic National Committee.
Oh, how exciting is that? And I'm sure you know some of our friends, Terry Anderson from Vermont, and a few other people as well. Well, so how can people help you, Sean?
Well, firstly, if you're interested in running for office, go get trained and go run for office. We have, only less than 1,000 elected people in the entire United States. We have run the numbers at 5.6% of the population. We need to have over 29,000 people just to have our basic representation in government. And so would love for you to go get trained. You can go to victoryinstitute.org to find out about trainings, and then tell people about Victory Fund. If you're an LGBTQ candidate in the United States, please be in touch with us because we want to help you succeed.
All right, there we have your address right up there, so people can go find more information. Click the donation button there and help you out to help us out. Well, thank you very much, Sean. We appreciate your work. And in our earlier talk, you talked about coming to Vermont. Let me know when you're coming.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you. All right. So if you have any information, I know there's people out there saying, maybe I'd like to run for city council, or even if you run for something like justice of the peace or some school board, those are all important positions in your community. So go to Victory Fund and find out about the information.